Salutations, people of the internet. Welcome to the database. Anime. It's been a type of entertainment genre I wanted to discuss on this channel in full length for some time now. And this anime I've chosen for this video is something special. Romantic comedies in anime can be seen as a series of hit and misses. Shows like Rent a Girlfriend is a mess, while other rom-coms like Kaguya-Sama Love is War and Komi Can't Communicate are arguably big hits. That being said, I'm probably not the best person to analyze anime. While I've seen a fair batch of anime since the heydays of Bleach, Naruto, and Sonic X in the 2000s, it's been a challenge for me to analyze TV shows that I'm very passionate about. Why else would I cap off 2022 with an anime retrospective? There are tons of anime related channels on YouTube that also do the same, and probably watch the same shows as I do, so I'm not the only one doing this. Unless you're here to hear another person's take on the show, you do you. Komi Can't Communicate, a show I, among all other people with social anxiety, can definitely relate to. Here it is, my own copy of the first volume of the series by mangaka Tomohito Oda. Granted, it's not the same copy as the original release from 2016, but this was translated to the English market right around the same time the anime was airing on Netflix in 2021. The animation studio behind this was OLM, who, surprisingly enough, worked on a lot of Pokemon movies and other Pokemon and Yokai Watch related content, at least according to this Wikipedia page. There's gonna be minor spoilers when I bring up moments in the manga and major spoilers for the anime as of the first 2 seasons or parts. But the spoilers here aren't so big when you think about it, and this doesn't feel like a spoiler heavy manga anime series to begin with. I guess that's enough background. Let's get into the summary. This is Komi Can't Communicate, or as said in Japanese, Komi-San wa Komishu desu. This is Eton High School, an elite private school home to the students with unique personalities. The only way these students can get a chance to attend here is through interviews. Enter Shoku Komi, a girl whose severe levels of social anxiety is seen by many of her classmates as the goddess of her school, based on her quiet beauty, but barely knowing what she's actually like. Then there's Hitohito Tadano, an average guy who helps Komi into making 99 more friends, making Tadano Komi's first friend. Thus follows a series of interactions with several students in her class and all around her daily life. The second friend Komi makes is everyone's childhood friend and the polar opposite of Komi social-wise, Najimi Osana, a social butterfly who is neither a guy or a girl, aka everyone's first question when watching the show: what's Najimi's gender? I'd say it's an Apache helicopter. And that kinda sums up the main cast of Komi, as these are the 3 characters that appear the most in each chapter of the manga and episodes of the anime series going forward. The other 99 can be seen as supporting characters Komi interacts with at her school, or people she becomes friends with outside of her class. And getting 98 friends isn't an easy task for Komi, despite what Najimi likes to gloat about. Knowing that Eton High is filled with different personalities, the interactions Komi has with them feel very unique, and at times fresh. Examples: after Najimi friends' approval, we're introduced to Himiko Agari, a girl with a dog fetish. Ranya Mai, a psycho lesbian who's obsessed with Komi, which... oh, we'll get to her in a bit. And there are more characters like these which I want to discuss a separate section on. Basically, who are my picks for the best supporting characters in Komi. My experience following the Komi Can't Communicate series has been somewhat structured, from what I could tell. Many of the chapters in the manga or episodes in the anime sees Komi doing either 2 things: interacting with other students at her school to become their friend, or Komi doing things in her daily life like visiting her relatives, going to a water park, or seeing the summer festival. As the series progresses, we see Komi character's development during each interaction, with her experiencing signs of jealousy, affection for Tadano, and we even got moments between Komi and Tadano that will later grow into a natural romantic feelings for one another. Hell, during the time Komi was jealous of Tadano hanging out with another girl, we even got her rooting for Komi, so you know their endgame. Nene Onamine here competing for best girl. As someone who has social anxiety as myself, I can relate to Komi in most of these scenes. I always see myself as someone who couldn't speak in front of people and someone who struggles to make friends during my time at school or university. Heck, making friends is still something I struggle with to this day. I noticed that this show is labeled as a slice-of-life rom-comedy, but from what I can tell, the rom-com aspects of Komi felt pretty secondary throughout each storyline of the first and second season, at least all the storylines that the anime tends to cover. It starts off as a nice friendship throughout the first season, and then leads to Komi develop feelings for Tadano later on the second season. Like it's there when Tadano and Komi share a screen together. I think they make a cute couple as the series progresses, but they are not as intimate enough as moments that I would read in a manga, which I won't say there. I love how unique each character in the show is. Even when I don't remember the full names of each character on the show, their personalities are strong enough to easily identify them. Sometimes to the point where I end up making up their personalities as part of their names. We got Naruse, the narcissist, a guy who's literally a ninja. Kometani is literally a pun for comet, and his way of communicating is through comic text bubbles. In fact, that's what I could say for all the names in the show. Puns and writing the characters based off of puns, or meaning behind a name, is what the show does best. Tadano Hito Hito is a play on the phrase Tadano Hito, meaning average guy, while Najimi Osuna translates to childhood friend. During the sports festival, we're introduced to Chiga Netsuno, whose last name refers to her fiery personality during competition. I could go on defining what each character's names are referencing, but we'll be here all day, and this video is probably long as it is. And there is a video that perfectly analyzes each character in the show, and I'll link to that in the description. What I wanted to talk about in this section are some of my favorite supporting characters in the show aside from the main three. That's not to say that Komi, Tadano, and Najimi don't have anything interesting to offer. Far from it. It just gives me the chance to express some of my favorite characters from the show. Plus, I probably already expressed my thoughts on those three in an earlier segment, and we'll be here for a while if I discuss every other character. First off, one of, if not my number one favorite supporting character in the show, Omoharu Nakanaka. She's what's called in the series a chunibyo, a Japanese student who's going through a second-year middle school syndrome, where they think they have magical powers and they appear edgier than normal. In other words,
this is who I am, Mom! It's not just a face!
I'm not saying that emo culture and chunibyo are a lot similar to one another, it's just the first thing that came to mind. In Nakanaka's case, her chunibyo personality can be seen as a coping mechanism, as seen in her introduction chapter, simply coping with her loneliness. Damn girl, I can relate. Not only that, but Nakanaka is also a gamer. This is the main reason why I like her. Kamiden in second and third are two characters I find so hard to hate. Rene Onemine and Kaide Otori. Much like every character in the show, their names are a play on word, with Onemine being a big sister figure towards everybody in her class, always supportive of Tadano and Komi, and just a very kind person overall. And then there's Kaede being so slow, always seemingly happy airhead. And yeah, I know there are some people out there who are not a huge fan of the airhead character in the show, but here, her airheadedness is what makes Kaede so adorable. She makes it so hard to not put her on my list of favorites. In fact, these two go together hand in hand, as you barely see these two apart in most chapters and scenes in the anime. This is mostly likely to ensure Onemine doesn't lose sight of Kaede when no one is looking. And last but not least, let's give the male supporting character spot to Makoto Katai. I love this big softie so much. From what I could gather, and from what I've read so far in the manga, he's basically a male version of Komi. Nervous as hell like Komi, but unlike Komi, his nervousness strays from people being scared of him just by his physical presence, which makes Katai get the wrong idea of what's going on in so many times on screen. He sees Komi as this communication master, which that alone is hilarious. And yeah, he practically becomes Tadano's first guy friend in the series when he was first introduced. Seeing this is what Komi's fans call Chatado moments. Tadano pushes Komi to make new friends each day, and in exchange gets her phone number and becomes friends with her. Slick move, dude. Now I want to talk about other aspects of the series, both from the manga and the anime, that I also enjoyed, but couldn't fit anywhere in the narrative of the review. I find it very interesting that the manga has this structured box format, where each page you see panels that are split into 4, or you see variations of the 4-panel structure, like one full page or half-page image, followed by 2 smaller panels. Now this isn't something new, other series did this too before Komi. For this case, it's used for quieter pacing when translating into the anime, and a way to establish the atmosphere that these characters live in, thanks to many landscape shots. This kind of reminds me of the pacing from Better Call Saul, where a lot of the episodes have this slower and quiet pacing that gives the characters room to breathe. And the quiet atmosphere makes it so that we feel like a part of their everyday lives. I know I'm comparing two different shows of different genres and media, but it's at least the one connection that I could make between Komi and Saul that came to mind. Again, personal experience. As for the anime, saying that the show has good animation is too easy to say. All I could say that is to look at these clips seen here to prove how good the show looks. The opening credits for both seasons are great. The first opening by Cidergirl plays Cinderella will always be an instant hit, though I do want to give props to the second season's opening for establishing the wholesome tone of the series, and re-establishing Komi's goal of making 100 friends. The first end credits are alright, but nothing compared to the beauty and different animation style of the second end credits. The minimalistic art style of the setting, the fluid rotoscope-like animation, seeing all the characters in Komi's class that she interacted so far, interacting with one another with whole lots of energy that matches their personalities. Plus that scene skip of seeing more of Komi and Tadano's newer friends they made in the second season, just perfect chef's kiss. Fans of the show might as well make a 10-minute long video analysis of this one end credit sequence alone. It's just so amazing and wholesome. Same thing goes for the OST. I can't tell which soundtrack is which by name, but when you hear it, it delivers the perfect tone the anime scene needs at the right time. From the quieter moments between Komi and Tadano, to the intense moments like when Komi and her friends play group games together like Bamboo Shoot. These are fun cues to listen to, and makes the show an enjoyable alternative to the manga. Anime being an alternative to the manga seems like a big taboo around these parts. And that was Komi Can't Communicate, my first ever full-length anime review. Hopefully I gave this show an accurate analysis. If I were to summarize this show into one word, it's wholesome. For people with social anxiety, this can be seen as one of the most relatable shows you'll ever watch. Plus, if you don't seem to connect with Komi or Tadano or Najimi a whole lot, its colorful cast of supporting characters may be the ones that would click you the most. I know I have my own batch of characters I liked in the show, but remember when I said that we'll get back to Renya Mai? Well, let's quickly discuss her now. She's a disgusting person. Like, I know anime is not afraid to give us perverts in several popular shows like Master Roshi in the Dragon Ball series or Mineta from My Hero Academia, but Yamai's actions in the show makes those two look like proper gentlemen. In the chapters that focus on her, she kidnaps Tadano and ties him up in her room for a whole day, and when Komi and Najimi visits Yamai's place, Yamai was willing to open to kill him if things turned south. Sure, at the end they all made up, but even if her name is referenced on her being lovesick, it still doesn't make up her appeal as a character on what is overall supposed to be a wholesome anime. And that's not going into stuff that the anime hasn't covered yet, by the way. But even with Renya Mai being the one person to ruin the tone of the series, you can take her out of the picture and you still have a relaxing time watching the show. Everybody else aside from her is still a joy to watch. The lesson of overcoming social anxiety and approaching others through communication is something everyone can relate and get behind. Social anxiety is something we struggle every day, and it is something that cannot be fixed overnight. People like me and all others wish we had a friend like Tadano, who pushes us through obstacles to those who have social anxiety, who pushes through those communication struggles to come out of their shells and give them a chance to improve themselves. When it comes to the show's depiction of social anxiety, it may not be that accurate, who knows. Literally by looking at the show's first intro, it can be depicted as a Cinderella fairy tale. But one thing that I know that put this show in a wholesome light is a cast of characters' compassion to accept those with these kind of struggles, because we're not alone. It's normal to have moments of social anxiety, and that doesn't make you weird in the slightest. Itan High is a school full of weirdos and unique characters, and that's normal for them and all of us. The uniqueness of friends may bring the best in all of us. Besides,
us weirdos have to stick together, you know?
So what do you guys think of Komi Can't Communicate so far? Have you caught up with the first 2 seasons? Are you currently reading the manga? What's your experiences with social anxiety and the struggles with communication? Let me know in the comments. thumbs up the video if you like it, subscribe to the database, and follow me on social media seen above. This is Christopher James signing off, and I'll see you next time.